That's right, everybody. That title right there is not meant to deceive you. If you guys have not heard the news yet, now you guys will know. So we got some pretty big news to talk about in terms of Tokyo Ghoul Re, the manga. So it turns out that we are actually approaching and entering into the final arc for Tokyo Ghoul Re. And in all honesty, I've kind of felt like 2018 was going to spell the end for the manga for Tokyo Ghoul Re. Ever since Kaneki turned into Dragon and these past 10 to 15 chapters we have currently been on, it's felt like we've been approaching the end game of the series. And just to have now, the news coming out that this is in fact true, it's not surprising to me, but it is a little sad just to know that this series will be coming to an end. But there's still many questions left out on the table for many of us fans that read this series. Is this just the end for Tokyo Ghoul Re? Will there be a third adaptation? Where does the series go from here? Is this in fact the end? We don't really have too much information to actually go on, so we're kind of just left to theorize and speculate on what the future of Tokyo Ghoul holds for us moving forward from this point. But I'll leave a link to an article. It's very short in the description. Odds are most of you guys have already read this because this news is like a day out so far. I just wanted to sit on this news. I didn't want to, just jump the gun and just have false information bringing that to you guys, because I wanted the news to at least be accurate and to make sure that it was true. And since this news has been out for a day, it seems like this is true. So I'll read a little snippet from the article and then we'll just talk for a little bit, speculate on what this could possibly mean moving forward for the series of Tokyo Ghoul. The title of the article reads, Tokyo Ghoul Re manga has entered final arc. The wraparound jacket band for the 14th compiled volume of Sui Ishida's Tokyo Ghoul Re manga advertised the volume as the plunge into the final arc. The volume shipped on January 19th and the 15th volume is slated for March 19th. Well, at least volume 15 has a confirmed release date. That is at least one piece of good news I can at least derive from this article right now. But I know this is going to leave many people bummed just to hear that Tokyo Ghoul Re is in the final stretch of its storytelling. But actually looking at the content of volume 14, the fact that volume 14 starts the plunge into the final arc actually makes a lot of sense to me, because looking at what is actually in story-wise, where the volume starts, we have Kaneki transforming into Dragon. So at least that right there, it confirms it for me, because I have suspected ever since we kind of, had this complete shift in the storyline with Kaneki turning into Dragon, I have felt that we were approaching the end game of the story. And I also kind of felt that 2018 could spell the end of Tokyo Ghoul Re. But as of right now, we don't really know how many chapters it's going to take to complete this final arc. It could be 5 chapters, it could be 10 chapters, it could be 40 chapters. We can have an entire year still of Tokyo Ghoul Re until it ends, because the main theory that even I kind of agree with was that Tokyo Ghoul Re was most likely going to be 206 chapters, tying in to the first title of chapter 1 for TG Re, Bone equating to 206 chapters. I really liked that theory, but it all depends on how many chapters Ishida needs to complete his overall storytelling with Kaneki and Tokyo Ghoul Re. And another thing that we should really be thinking about right now are what plot points and story threads are still left unanswered and need to be tied up with the conclusion of this final arc, because Ishida has given us basically nothing so far on the Washu clan and the V organization. They are still complete enigmas in the grand scheme of the story for Tokyo Ghoul. So I am really hoping that we have like 20, 30, 40, even 50 more chapters left in the story. Like, this is going to be the last long final arc for Tokyo Ghoul Re. We have some satisfying answers. All the plot threads finally get hooked, get answers, they get complete, and we have a satisfying conclusion, and hopefully a happy one for Kaneki, because with this whole story of tragedy, we are at least hoping for a satisfying and happy ending. And this is not even factoring in the fact that Tokyo Ghoul Re could end and could spin off into a part 3. None of this is confirmed right now. This is all speculation, but as it stands right now, there are many possibilities on whether or not this is actually a definite conclusion to the series of Tokyo Ghoul, or if this is just going to be, the second installment's conclusion and then leading into the third act, the final act for Tokyo Ghoul. we have no idea. Plus, I am also very, very curious to see how this is going to affect the anime adaptation, because if we are in fact getting a definite conclusion to Tokyo Ghoul Re, we will have a complete story that the anime could adapt, and this is a big, big if the anime adapts it correctly. And I do find it very ironic as well that part 1, Tokyo Ghoul, manga-wise, ended at least one day around when season 1 of the anime ended. It was like one day apart, and I'm very curious if Ishida is planning it in a certain way to where the manga for Tokyo Ghoul Re will end with the final episode somehow of Tokyo Ghoul Re's anime adaptation. I could definitely see Ishida doing that, but only time will tell. That is basically the news, guys, that we have right now for the final arc that we are approaching within Tokyo Ghoul Re. I definitely want to hear all of your guys' thoughts and theories about this news. Are you guys upset? Are you guys glad? Definitely give me your overall thoughts down in the comments below. And if you guys just want to, talk about Tokyo Ghoul or about like any news that's dropping about Tokyo Ghoul, since now we know that is about to be ending, feel free to follow me on Twitter, guys. I talk about Tokyo Ghoul all the time on my Twitter. A link can be found in the description below, along with the article that I mentioned in this video is in the description as well. But that is basically it for this news update for Tokyo Ghoul Re. I am very curious to see how this final arc is going to unfold, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But it has been an enjoyable ride, and whether or not this is in fact a definite conclusion, I've loved every tragedy-filled second of it. So until my next Tokyo Ghoul related video, guys, I'll talk with you guys then. Bye, guys.